Hi there investors, Dan from new2property here. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode in the new2property range. In this video, we're lucky enough to be joined by Tom Mills of Emergence Property. Just before we do get started and have a chat to Tom about his full end-to-end property solution, if you wanted to find out more about myself, the team at new2property, and what it is that we do, make sure you visit www.new2property.co.uk. You can also follow us on Facebook. Make sure you give us a like for some handy hints and tips to be dropped onto your Facebook feed. So Tom, Emergence Property and an end-to-end full property service. What does that mean?
So we help both new and experienced investors go through the whole process of finding, refurbing, managing, tenanting property investments. So we do that all for them. So all the way from finding something, do the refurbishment, we do it all.
Wow. Okay. And do you have properties yourself in your own portfolio?
Yes, we do. So we is me and my business partner, who is the co-owner of Emergence Property. Yep. So we own a portfolio in Newcastle, which is our area. I also have a portfolio myself, mostly in the West Midlands, and I own my own residential here in Suffolk.
Yeah, fantastic. So why wouldn't you be keeping all of these great properties that you're sourcing for investors? Why wouldn't you keep them yourself?
The main reason is money,
if
I'm honest. So if we could, we would. We literally do buy exactly the same deals that we pass on to our clients, but funds is always an issue. So we have our funds tied up. When we do, they go to our clients. When we have funds available, we buy the same deals.
Sure, okay. And you mentioned the north there. Mm-hmm. Do you only source or find these properties for investors in one area, or are you sort of UK-wide, or where are you based?
Yeah, so Emergence Property is based in Newcastle.
Okay.
And we only invest ourselves now and source within Newcastle, or 30 minutes of Newcastle. They are selective areas as well. So it's not everywhere within 30 minutes because there are some poor locations there as well. So 30 minutes, which is basically so that it works for our teams. We don't want to be driving further than that, and then smaller places within that.
And I guess what that allows you to do then is to be a real sort of expert within the area, which is so important when obviously investing in properties, is to get the right property in the right area. Mm-hmm. How many investors have you helped since you've been doing this kind of thing?
Yeah, around about 20-25 people.
And that's going through the whole end-to-end process and having a product, a property at the end of it that's then being let out. Mm-hmm. They let them out and then obviously get that rental value from it and the capital growth or whatever comes with it. That's brilliant. All happy customers?
Yes. Things do go wrong, as they always do with property. Yep. But I think it's being there and helping them through those issues.
Sure.
But yes, overall, happy.
Brilliant. Okay. And what sort of profile of investor or customer do you attract and do you work with?
Quite a wide range, really. It's anyone from right at the start of their journey, who has no idea what they're doing, all the way through to very seasoned investors with very large portfolios. Okay. Yeah.
So why would let's start with the first category or profile that you mentioned there. So that's a completely new investor. What's the benefits of a new investor coming over to Emergence Properties?
I think what we can give is, well, it kind of goes hand in hand with the end to end, because we can offer everything you need in the process. A new investor wouldn't have necessarily any of those, or maybe only one of those. So they might have a bit of knowledge, or they might have some background on building, but what we can do is fill in all of the gaps for them. It's being part of the team, really.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. And then the second profile you mentioned there, a seasoned investor. So why would, let's say, somebody with properties already or knowledge of investing, why would they benefit from your services?
It's usually just time. That's usually the only reason. So if they've already got a portfolio and they're doing other things and they know property's great, they might come to us and say, well, I like Newcastle, I like you guys. Can you build me a portfolio there? And then we'll do that for them. So they might have again, it's filling all of those different blocks. So they might have all of them bar time, so we can put that block in. And
so they've got the experience, they've got the knowledge, but actually what they benefit from is bringing you into their power team as such, to be able to source and work on the properties and renovate them for them. Do you look for any sort of particular properties, any profile of property at all? So is it HMOs, serviced accommodations, buy-to-lets, or any, what is it that you source for these investors? Yeah,
so the main thing for us is trying to keep people on the same page as us as much as possible.
Okay.
So we like to work in partnership. So for us, we love single lets.
Yep.
That's our bread and butter. That's all we own.
Okay.
So most of the time, our favourite thing is to do that for people, because we can plug them in. We love it. We buy them, and we can help them along the journey. Saying that, we do flips.
Okay.
Which we're doing a few at the moment for people. We also do HMOs. They are a much more bespoke product.
Yep.
And usually, I probably wouldn't recommend someone going in and doing that first with us.
Yep.
They might do that on their second one.
Sure.
It's just a little bit of a different one.
And what is it that makes you, my ears kind of prick up when you say, we love the buy-to-let, the single lets. What is it that you love about the single lets?
I think there's quite a few reasons. Number one, they go in very well with our model, our business model. They are the most hands-off, in my opinion.
For you guys, or for an investor?
For both, really.
Right.
Which goes quite well, because a lot of people come to us for the hands-off service.
Sure.
So you then don't want to have something that's, I don't know, serviced accommodation, HMO, that's going to have a lot of after maintenance.
Right.
Whereas with a single let, we can literally get it all the way up to managing it, and then you can, touch wood, forget about it pretty much.
Okay, so, and just watch the return coming in, basically.
Yes.
So when you sort of get to that stage, you say to the management stage of it, if as an investor, if I purchased a property from you guys, what do I then do about managing of that property and going into the future? Is it kind of just left for me to sort out, or do you guys help at all, or how does that look?
So we'll help with everything up to the point of management. So then it's handed over to a management agent.
Okay. We
don't have our own management agent, but we partner with management agents, and we have one in the area who's very similar kind of business to us. They're quite small. They've got the right ideas about the things they're trying to do. It's a nice personable service.
Right. Okay.
And we hand it over to them. So literally everything's done, including pretty much all the paperwork, and then you just sit back and watch the money come in.
Watch the money come in.
Yeah.
Wow. So let's say, what's the sort of time frame from me sort of signing up or having an initial conversation with you to be able to, let's say, get a tenant in and pass the keys to a letting agent?
Mm-hmm. Around about 9 months from start to finish. I usually say a couple of months to find the right deal.
Okay.
2-3 months to buy it. Who knows?
Yeah, for sure.
As long as a piece of string, that part. And then it's around about 2 months to do the refurbishment, usually, and maybe a further month to let it. You would usually let within a couple of weeks, but allow a month for them to get in.
Sure. And
then done. So.
And do you mentioned the refurbishment in that part there. Do you guys do the refurbishment on the properties for the investors?
Yes. So we have our own build team.
Okay.
So yes, that falls under the emergence umbrella. They solely work for us.
Yep.
So they're not going to run off and do some woman's job down the road when they get bored.
Which is always good.
Exactly, because all of their income is from us. So yes, we supply them, and we also project manage it for you as well. So you won't have a builder calling you up on a Monday morning and, I don't know, saying a pipe's burst or something like that. Yes.
So if we kind of cast back to the very, very start then, I'm an investor that has an initial chat with yourself. I'm interested in picking up a buy-to-let property. I don't really know a great deal about what it is that I'm looking for or what I kind of want to set up. How does the journey look for me up until handing the keys over to the agent? Yeah,
so the very, very first thing is getting to know us. So we only really work with people where we mutually like each other.
Okay.
I think that you have to have that because our service is very in depth and long term. So we're going to be working with these people for a lot, and if we fall out, it's just going to make it unpleasant, really, for both parts. So that's the key thing. The next thing is working out your goals and where you're trying to get to, and also whether we can help you achieve those goals. Because sometimes people will come to me and, I don't know, say that, serviced accommodation or rent to rent is really the way that they need to go.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, they want very quick cash flow. That's not something that we do or particularly believe in. So I would probably pass them on to someone else.
Sure.
So we do that first. We come to a plan. We'll then execute it, which will basically be signing up to our services, going out and finding a property for them, which can take a couple of months. So I'll let them know roughly at the beginning. Once that's gone through, and we help them through that process, so we'll chase the solicitors, we'll keep the agents off their back. They won't get all the nagging.
Okay.
So we do all of that for them. We arrange the refurbishment, project manage it. Then we do help with tenant finding as well, if we can. But otherwise the agent will do that. But we try and arrange it either way and then hand the keys over.
It sounds very slick, Tom. It sounds almost too good to be true. And it sounds expensive. Let's talk, how much is this going to cost me?
Yeah, so it is deal dependent, but generally they're fairly similar. So for a standard single let, sourcing fee will normally be £3,000.
Which is pretty average out there.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, and project management we charge £1,500 generally.
Okay.
And that would include everything that I've said. So there's no extras. So if you pay the £1,500, all of the post completion stuff we'll do for you.
Wow. So if you could kind of sum it up in a nutshell, let's say the benefits for me just coming into the property industry, understanding and knowing that it's a great idea for me to put my money into property, but not really knowing where to start. How would you sort of summarise it's best for me to work with you guys, and why would it be?
I think it's the team thing. Again, I think if you're new and not knowing where to start, you are missing those crucial blocks, and it's filling those in and coming into the team and having someone really to give you a bit of a property hug, of a better term.
We all like a property hug every now and again, Tom. So for sure,
it's to come in and even just if it's some initial advice and we just have a good chat. I've got plenty of experience as I've invested. I'm a qualified mortgage broker, although I don't trade anymore. So even if it's just having a chat now, and just helping and just saying, look, this is the path you should maybe look at. That might not be us. So I think that's where we come in. It's a nice start for someone. Because
there's so much information out there. There's so many trainers, mentors, coaches, everything, and it's it's mind-boggling the stuff that you can see. So I think in the property world, it's great to find somebody that is honest, trustworthy, who can empathise with what it is that somebody's looking for, and to be able to give them that solid advice from the start, which it sounds like you guys are doing, which is great. So as an investor working with Emergent, what would I expect to be able to sort of see the deals that you're presenting to me? How would I get that information? What would it look like?
Yeah, so we do all of the analysis for you. So you still need to do your due diligence, as you always should do. Of course. Just to put that tip out there, but we do it all for you, and we make it simple and easy to read. So we put together what we call a deal brochure. That will include a summary of the deal. It will include pictures, the work that's required, comparables in the area, a summary of that particular area, and I also give a screenshot of my analyzer that I use to analyse all property deals.
Right. Okay.
So if you like spreadsheets and you like seeing all the numbers, they're on there as well. So you get all of that in a nice little neat package, and obviously there should be follow-up questions from there when you're doing your due diligence, so we can run through those as well. And if you would like to see the property, we also offer that. Most investors don't, simply because it's a hands-off investment, and they don't want to generally run up from London or wherever. And
if I'm close, if you present the property to me, I say I think it's great from what you're telling me. I do a little bit of due diligence, and the numbers look okay. Could I have a look around?
Absolutely.
Oh, brilliant.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, no problem at all. We just ask to try and fit that in a reasonable timescale around things happening as well. I think the things with these is you need to understand it from both sides as well, where we're trying to get you these great deals.
Yep.
So we have to move very quickly, and it can't be
Sure.
okay, I can come and view it in 2 weeks and then we'll start the process then.
Yep.
Realistically, that deal's not going to be there anymore.
Sure, of course.
Yeah.
And how many investors do you let's say, have on your books at one time? How many, will I be sort of receiving an email in the morning, at 7 o'clock saying you need to snap up this deal before 7:05 else it will disappear? Is that the way it works, or?
No, so it's personable, it's one-to-one.
Okay.
So it's understanding what you're after and then finding it for you. So when we go out, we'll have, I don't know, between maybe 10 and 15 investors on the books.
Okay.
We find approximately 4 deals per month currently, and those deals will be matched to you, and whether they suit you. So you won't have to fight anyone. There won't be an email list. There won't be, you have to sign up by this time.
Yeah.
However, we do ask people to come back to us in a reasonable time scale,
Sure.
because we need to act quickly. So no, it's directly to you, phone call from me, we run through it, and then we decide whether we want to proceed with it.
Fantastic. It sounds great, Tom. Is there anything that potentially I've missed in asking you that is a fundamental part or a point that we really need to ensure that the viewers who are watching this gather before we kind of finish up today?
I think the only thing I'd probably hone in on is the problems and things that go wrong part, because a lot of the time people might look at this a little bit wrongly and think that it's literally going to be no issues ever, but property, there are problems, and I'll always be open and honest about that.
Sure.
But we try to protect against it because we've done it, because we've tested the teams. Hopefully you are going to have less issues, but if they do come up, or when they come up I should say, we come to you with a solution and a way of sorting it out. So I think that's the key element, really. You don't feel like you're on your own.
Yeah, and I think that's absolute key. And things will, like Tom said, go wrong in property, but it's the solution and the fix that you put in place rather than looking and sort of focusing on the problem. So long as people are aware of that, then obviously we can move forward. That's brilliant. Do you have any, let's say, a message for new to property investors who are watching this, who have maybe spoken to somebody down the pub or a family member or somebody who has said you've got to get into property, but they just don't know where to start, they don't know what to do? Have you got any sort of wise words of wisdom maybe?
Yeah, so 3 key things for me.
Okay.
So number 1 is knowledge/experience. So either go and get educated in some way.
Yep.
You don't necessarily have to go to a course and pay thousands of pounds, but go and find, a book, people that know what they're on about, anyone that has previous experience, and work with them. I mean, that's the key bit first, because that will get rid of probably 90% of the issues that you're going to have, because you're going through people who've already had these issues before. The next thing is the team around you.
Okay.
So even if you're not working with someone like ourselves and you're doing it locally to you and you have the time, you're still going to need solicitors, brokers, build teams, letting agents.
Yep.
So you need to build that up, and they need to be good quality people. Everyone will say they're good, obviously, but when you come to use them, these things
you'll soon
break.
find out.
Absolutely. And the third and final thing is your area. So this is probably the most important, because if you go and buy something that you don't know about, things will just go wrong. They will. I can pretty much guarantee that. So you either need to invest somewhere that you know well, or somewhere that someone you trust knows well.
I think that's a really good point, and a key takeaway is a deal can look absolutely fantastic on paper, but there'll always be 2 sides to the coin. The deal looks great with the numbers and it looks great on paper, but what does the area and the actual property look like? Because those numbers will soon start to change if the property that you pick up potentially attracts the wrong kind of tenant, or a tenant that isn't going to pay, or maybe the property won't fill, or the fundamentals aren't in that area to actually be able to let that property at all. So then all of a sudden your numbers don't look quite as good. So I think absolute key, know the area, know the property, work with somebody that knows what they're doing should help you along the journey.
Absolutely.
Tom, if anybody wanted to get in contact with you or your business partner, or to find out anything more at all, how can they do that?
Yeah, so I've got quite a big Facebook presence now, so you can get in contact with me directly on Facebook under Tom Mills, the company business page on Facebook, Emergence Property, or you can email me, tom@emergenceproperty.co.uk.
Perfect. We'll also put those details, Tom, on the bottom of the video there in the notes, so anybody can pick it up from that. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for watching. If you are enjoying and liking videos like this one, please make sure you subscribe below to get updates, and have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you.